Good morning, everyone. Group 8 will be presenting to you the Tao of the Tao Te Ching, a translation and commentary written by Michaela. In an attempt to forego the original book's ambiguity and vagueness, this report will focus on hermeneutics, or the theory and practice of recovering the original meaning of ancient texts. Correspondingly, there are two approaches to understanding Tao Te Ching, through practicality and religion. For this report, there will be a brief introduction of Lao Tzu or Lao Qi, the reputed author of the original book of Tao Te Ching, who is also a guiding figure in Taoism. Then, we'll proceed to discuss the first 3 chapters of Michael Lafargue's book, The Tao of the Tao Te Ching. Finally, concluding this report will be the summary and key points of our discussion.
Who is Lao Qi? Lao Qi, meaning old master, is a Chinese philosopher and writer. He founded Taoism, a way of life that promotes modesty and religious piety. Despite his contribution to Chinese tradition, he is still vogue as a historical figure, and some even doubt whether he existed. One of his well-written books, Tao Te Ching, which was published more than 200 years ago, provides a guide for self-discovery and self-awareness. It was always often associated with the other well-known early Chinese philosopher, Confucius. He is also the founder of philosophical Taoism.
Taoism is a traditional Chinese philosophy and a religion that teaches believers how to live in harmony with the natural world. Taoism is both philosophy and religion of non-action, selflessness, detachment, and harmony with nature, among other tenets. It advocates for harmonious coexistence of people, animals, and the Tao or the universe. It emphasizes going with the flow of nature as well as letting go. This magnum opus recognizes the importance of stillness, yet the presence of mind. Taoists hold the view that after death, the spirit of the body reincarnates and enters the universe. Beliefs of Taoism. Taoists believe that sorrow and unhappiness occur when individuals spend their lives in opposition to the Tao. A person will be happy if they can quickly adjust to changes in their lives, and happiness will result from resistance to change. Taoism holds that accepting life as it comes and remaining adaptable are the 2 finest ways for a person to live. Goal of Taoism. The ultimate objective of Taoists was to conform to the grand pattern of nature known as Tao or the Way. One's ultimate objective should be to live with the harmony with the Tao and understand that everything that occurs in life should be embraced as a part of the everlasting energy that unites and surrounds all things. As a philosophy and as a religion. As a philosophy, Taoism concentrates on the profound secrets of the Tao, and as a religion, its aim is to attain long life and eventually immortality. Lao Tzu believed that these 3 tenets of Taoism, which are built on the 3 pillars of simplicity, patience, and compassion, are our greatest values. He continued by saying that you may reconnect with the root of being by practicing simplicity in both thoughts and deeds. You learn to accept reality by exercising tolerance with both allies and foes. Furthermore, when you are kind to yourself, you bring all living things back into harmony.
The yin and yang symbol holds its roots in Taoism. It is a symbol representing opposites in equilibrium and that everything is interconnected. As the yin and yang symbol suggests, life is meant to be lived in balance. For example, day and night, dark and light. Taoism aims to encourage people to accept and live in this harmony, since it is present in nature. Yin and yang demonstrate the interconnectedness of all the things in the cosmos and the fact that nothing makes sense on its own.
Tao Te Ching is a classic Chinese 81-chapter collection of poetry and sayings by Lao Qi, written around 500 to 200 BCE and used as a fundamental text for philosophical and religious Taoism. The book serves as a guide to Taoist thoughts and actions to achieve harmony with oneself and the universe. Originating around the 5th century before the Common Era, Tao Te Ching is one of the few books in this period appealing to not only Chinese, but also Greek, Judeo-Christian, Hindu, and Buddhist traditions. Therefore, this holy book of Taoism is second to the Bible as the most translated and interpreted classic in the world. To comprehend the Tao Te Ching, or Book of the Way, let us first define Tao, Te, and Ching.
The first character is Tao or Tao, which means the way. It is the quintessence of Taoism, as all living things are connected to Tao. Tao cannot be perceived by the senses and is beyond our comprehension. It is indefinitely big and indefinitely small, yet it holds the whole universe in place. It is said to be unbounded by limitations, thus it is indefinite. It's quite an elusive concept to grasp, which is the point of Tao, but it may be compared to the Force in Star Wars.
The second character is De, which can be considered as virtue. De is Tao in action. Its manifestation is gained by attaining Tao. De is embedded in the theme of selflessness.
Finally, the third Jing character means scripture. Ching simply means a set of guidelines or the essence. It says that we can only blend with others if we have deep connections to ourselves, and we should attain our best selves by not trying so hard. Altogether, Tao Te Ching roughly translates to the Book of the Way or the Classic of the Way and Virtue. This collection of ancient scriptures is widely known and relevant then and now. However, there is a close to no trace of this author's identity other than their legacy in the form of these ancient scriptures.
Taoism philosophy is based on three pillars: simplicity, patience, and compassion. Lao Tzu, or Lao Tse, said that these three principles are our greatest treasures. He further explained that by being simple in actions and in patience with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. And by being compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. The magic of Tao is beyond one's notion of conceptual knowledge. They penetrate one's inner aura and tame the sage's thirst for trivial pleasures. Those who wholeheartedly endorse the truth of Taoism can afford to loosen the mental strain upon getting the big picture, and while expounding on this, and I will expound on this in the following slides, rather. The self-promoting person is excessive in trying to get more for himself or herself above and beyond this. The rejection of the show-off by things is related to this same idea. Things here refer to normative reality as seen from the Taoist perspective. That is, reality as an organically ordered whole. This is the reality that detests the show-off who violates this organic order by deliberate attempts to stand out. An individual understands the power emerging from humility. He protects it, he loves it, and shares it with the world. A purified heart, rather, shines and looms out of the darkness. He doesn't subdue to self-evaluation. Therefore, his efforts or her efforts are based on merit. Those who realize that white can captivate your attention but prefer to recline and relax in a black shade are triggering the aspect of humility. Beneath the clear blue sky, one can find shelter if he unravels the cause of mediocrity. There are loud and outgoing qualities, being bold, lavish, self-assertive, and there are quiet and retiring ones, such as being gentle, frugal, and self-effacing. When outgoing qualities exist by themselves, they are typically the result of artificial effort and so lack grounding in reality. An identity founded on this is precarious, insecure, death-inviting. But the outgoing qualities are not wrong in themselves. One whose basic identity resides in the quiet virtue has a safe and solid basis for herself or himself. Such a person can be bold and lavish on occasion, or occupy the highest social positions without danger. Quiet virtues like gentleness have a quality about them that acts as a magical protection, whatever situation one is in. Quiet virtues intensely cultivated, taken to an extreme by normal standards, make one appear not only quiet but odd. But it is normal standards that are at fault in this. Extremism in the service of what is truly good is the right way. There is reason to worry if one is not a little odd. The talented person who is also wise retains humility and does not create rivalry. The person who possesses material things and who does not boast of his possessions does much to prevent stealing. Those who are jealous of the talents, skills, or possession of others easily become possessed by envy. An individual is satisfied with sufficiency He is not jealous, and so is free of envy. He remains at peace with himself or herself. The sage works quietly, seeking neither praise nor fame, completing what he does with natural ease, and then retiring. This is the way and nature of Tao. Like water, the sage abides in a humble place. In meditation without desire, in thoughtfulness, he is profound, and in his dealings, kind. In speech, sincerity guides the man of Tao, and as a leader, he is just. In management, competence is his aim, and he ensures that the pacing is correct. Because he does not act for his own ends, nor unnecessary conflict. He is held to be correct in his actions toward his fellow man. Taoism is the ancient Chinese philosophy of duality. It emphasizes harmony in the presence of opposites, resulting in a sense of unity and oneness that ultimately provides guidance in your journey through life. The Tao of Tao Te Ching provides a platform for self-realization. It entails that goodwill is good if the intention of an individual is centered upon righteousness. It rejects the modernity of our generation focused on social status and wealth, because in these aspects, we can feel temporary satisfaction. It is evident that Taoism criticizes Confucianism. Confucianism deals with the social matters, while Taoism concerns itself with the search for meaning.
The second chapter is titled Stillness and Contentment. In line number 1, acquiring various desirable things in your life is what you thought you'd estimate who you really are and your worth as an individual. The more we long for more, the more we'll not be content. The more we are not content, the more it will make us less happy. In line number 2, we will do everything to obtain it, even if it means exerting too much energy, resources, and time. You will have a firm attachment to pleasurable materials without knowing that they will bring sudden destruction in your life and in your identity. Life can get complicated quite easily, but sometimes all we need to do is to get back to the basics. The simpler, the better life. In line number 3 and 4 implies to use the oracle formula or to know when to stop, or to have eagerness to prevent mental engagement that is centered outside or in the world that aspires to fame or prominence in luxury possessions. It will bring healthiness, stillness, and calmness to one's own mind. Simple in actions and thoughts, we return to the source being. In number 5, express the Laoist idea that continuing to be content and satisfied within itself to have a secure state, and so will last long. While not an easy thing to do, accepting these facts of life can release you from as much suffering and bring freedom in life. We must remember to let go and allow life to take its course. In a modern world that never sleeps, anyone could benefit from the simplicity found in Taoism.
The third chapter of Tao Te Ching, as interpreted and systematically rearranged by Michaela, deals with self-cultivation. This passage, you see, speaks primarily of the importance of self-cultivation and the benefits to be gained from it. In this passage, Taoism advises that self-cultivism should take precedence over achievements and accolades. When one makes a consistent effort to understand oneself, it leads to self-possession, which gives one contentment and is regarded as internal wealth. And anyone who achieves this state of mind, despite inner struggles, is on their way to become one with the universe as part of the natural flow of things even after death. Taoism, in both its philosophical and religious practices, emphasize self-cultivation as a significant design to bring harmony to the human body and mind, therefore connecting one to their community and the universe, creating greater harmony.
To summarize our report, here are the important key points we need to remember. Tao Te Ching, the Book of the Way and its power, a way of life that promotes modesty and religious piety. Lao Tzu, meaning Old Master, founded Taoism and is the credited author of Tao Te Ching. Taoism is about philosophy and religion of simplicity, patience, and compassion. It functioned as philosophy of abandonment and withdrawal from rampant warfare and social unrest characterized by Zhou dynasty. Two approaches of Taoism, practicality and religion. Summarizing the first chapter of the Tao of Tao Te Ching by Michael Fargu, excellence that is not outstanding. Taoism philosophy is based on three pillars: simplicity, patience, and compassion. In a Taoist perspective, individual self-promoting will not last long as it deters the natural flow. Outgoing qualities are inviting danger. Quiet virtues like gentleness serve as a protection barrier. Those who choose to be contented, humble, and free of envy enjoy peace within themselves. The second chapter, Stillness and Contentment, says, measuring our worth by acquiring desired things. The more we desire something, the more we will not be content. Spoiling ourselves with what we desire unconsciously ruin our identity as an individual. Aspiration will be left as aspiration. Learn to be content. There's no threat on it. Learning to be content and satisfied with things within ourselves, and so we will last long. Lastly, the third chapter, entitled Self-Cultivation, tells that Taoism instills that self-improvement should be prioritized over achievements. Understanding self leads to contentment and inner wealth. Those who struggle to achieve a state of mind will truly live long. And that concludes our reporting of the Tao of Tao Te Ching. Thank you and mabuhay.